World War II, Deception, and Dummies. The global scale of World War II saw the craft of deception deployed and perfected on a level never before seen. Every major army attempted to deceive their opponents, but it would be the Allies who ultimately got the best of Hitler, leaving him deflated and a paranoid mess by the time the Allies landed in France on June 6, 1944. The Allies used hundreds of dummy tanks in several styles during World War II. Inflatable tanks and even artillery pieces were convenient, as they can be moved around or set up in a matter of minutes. However, if used near a battlefield, they could easily be punctured and deflated. Other dummy tanks were made using a frame and canvas or burlap. Some more sturdy dummies are made of wood and sheet metal. These dummy vehicles, or even aircraft, could be set up in large formations, lingering in fake assembly areas ready to attack an enemy, where they will linger long enough that the enemy diverts resources to counter them. Dummy vehicles can also be used dynamically. Trucks or jeeps can become tanks, and tanks can become trucks with a few modifications. These deceptive tactics allow for a force to look strong where it is weak, and weak where it is strong. The British were the first to use dummy tanks in large numbers for the purpose of deception, and these tanks were dubbed spoofs. During World War II, Royal Engineers first began using dummy tanks, along with other deceptions like fake airfields, during the North African campaign. By 1942, hundreds of spoofs were being used in Africa by the British, made mostly out of local materials. During Operation Bertram, in support of the attack on El Alamein, the British constructed entire fake tank regiments, and even support pipelines all to the south of where the real attack was to take place. The outcome was a complete tactical surprise against the Germans, and much credit was given to the spoof army. This process became more sophisticated over time, and by 1944, pressurized rubber tanks were being factory-made for specialized units, trained in deploying them. These rubber tanks could be hauled in trucks and set up quickly, needing only compressed air. Field use for spoofs expanded. They would be used in Italy, Western Europe, and as part of the deception plan Operation Fortitude. Operation Fortitude was one of the largest military deceptions ever, and critical to the success of the landings at the Normandy beaches. Operation Fortitude was part of an even larger deception plan, Operation Bodyguard, with Fortitude being the most significant, developing two fake threats, one to the Pas-de-Calais and the other to Norway, where the Allies wanted the Germans to think they would invade. A fictitious 1st U.S. Army Group FUSEG was created in Dover, southeast Britain, to mimic preparations for the large-scale invasion of the Pas-de-Calais. This army group functioned in many ways like a regular army group. It had a fake insignia, fake equipment, fake radio traffic, and a fake but famous general, George S. Patton, who would be sure to get the attention of the Germans.
We're going to hold on to him by the nose, and we're going to kick him in the ass.
Double agents further fed false information back to Germany about the buildup. It's unknown specifically how many actual dummy tanks, if any, were important to the success of this operation, as they were more vitally used in places where the Germans were able to fly reconnaissance missions. The operation did, however, account for many details, including the construction of fake landing craft. To highlight the detail the operation went to, here are some shoulder patches of some of the non-existent units of FUSEG. The real men behind the scenes were part of clandestine units like men of the Ghost Army, officially known as the 23rd Headquarters Special Troops, a 1,100-man unit. These men were often recruited from art schools, advertising agencies, and the like. The operation was a success, as Hitler hesitated to reinforce Normandy during the real assault on June 6, 1944, believing the Normandy landings were a diversion, leaving significant forces in the Pas-de-Calais region. Deception didn't slow down on D-Day, it only escalated. During the invasion, Allied aircraft attacked road and rail networks to cut off reinforcements to areas they were not intending to invade. To confuse German radar, metal strips of foil were dropped from bombers. Most comically, fake parachute dummies nicknamed Ruperts by the British were dropped to draw German forces to the wrong locations. Special forces even set up loudspeakers simulating combat. During the war, all major powers used deceptive tactics, including fake tanks. The Americans were particularly adept at deception, harnessing the power of Hollywood. Hollywood set designer John S. Detley helped create this fake town built on top of a roof of a Boeing B-17 bomber factory near Seattle, Washington. The idea was that Japanese aircraft would be unable to find it if attempting an airstrike. Alright, I'm Johnny. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned something and I haven't left you feeling like a dummy yourself. If you are real or even just a spoof, do hit the like button or subscribe. And we'll see you, or maybe not, in the next one.